Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of Headbanger's Closet. Appreciate you guys tuning in as usual. It's your buddy Brett here, and right off the bat, I got to tell you guys, I hadn't made a video in a couple weeks, and the main reason for that is I've been on kind of the final, leg, I guess, if you will, of my Metallica Fall 2021 tour. I did 5 shows, 3 different cities, in just under 2 months, starting at basically like the end of September, and then kind of ending last weekend in Daytona Beach, Florida. Metallica did a bunch of shows in this fall of this year. I didn't do all of them. I'll kind of touch on some of those, but I just want to basically show you guys the items I added to my collection during the 3 stops on the kind of the tour I got to participate in. So, and I'll obviously tell you guys some of the stories about what I did, and me and some of my friends in the Metallica fan club did during these stops. Just like all the Metallica shows in the last 20 years, it's not just about the Metallica show, it's about, the friends we have in the Metallica fan club, one of which is the local chapter, the Outlaw Corn. It's the Midwestern chapter of the Metallica fan club. Check these guys out on Facebook. They make these badass t-shirts. Super comfortable, awesome looking, really cool. So yeah, anyway. So first stop on this fall 2021 tour was Louisville, Kentucky for the Louder Than Life Festival. Here's the little printout. They don't give you tickets. You actually get wristbands. So here's the wristband for Louisville. It's a little 4-day general admission thing. You kind of just scan it when you go in. It's on your arm all 4 days. You get it in the mail a few days before the show. Anyway, started on Thursday, and I wanted to get up there really quick because Anthrax was going to kick off. Was going to play day 1 of the festival at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, which kind of a bummer, right? Anthrax is one of the best bands out there in heavy metal, and they're playing the opening day at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. That kind of sucked. But, you know what? I wanted to go see them, so I hauled ass up to Louisville. It's like a 7-hour drive from where I live. Got there about 2 in the afternoon. Got to the hotel, met up with my buddy Moose, who I was going to room with, and the first item in the collection was from the Chicago Metro secret gig, which I believe was that Tuesday night, 2 days before the festival. He hooked me up with the t-shirt. There it is right there, the Metro, the secret gig. I think it was like, people found out about the night before, but, that day folks just got in line, cash only. You give them your cash, they give you a wristband. You get in line, you get a ticket, and you go in. Super intimate club gig to see Metallica, warming up for these festival shows. They did one in San Francisco, I believe, a week before, or a few days before that. I think the Friday before, actually did one in San Fran. This one, I believe, was on a Tuesday night in Chicago. A bunch of my friends went. My good buddy Jason Gorkowski and my friend Val, they were there. Rob Bradley, a bunch of my buddies were there checking it out. And my buddy Moose picked me up the shirt. So thank you for that, buddy. Appreciate it. And he was my roommate in Louisville. So he and I made it down to the venue to see Anthrax. Got a pretty good, spot to see Anthrax. They put on a badass set like they always do. They always deliver a kick-ass heavy metal, thrash metal set. It was awesome. And don't really remember who was after that, but Korn headlined the night, and Jonathan Davis mentioned during the set that he had just got over COVID. Now, I wouldn't have noticed it because he didn't look out of sorts, didn't sound bad, but when he wasn't singing, it was just like, music parts. He would go sit in this Game of Thrones style chair, which again, I was like, oh, that's a cool looking chair, he's going to hang out. But you can kind of tell when he's on the big screen, he was like, trying to get his breath and all that. So you kind of tell, he was just getting a rest. But he sounded really good. The band sounded good. I'm not really a huge Korn fan, but they sounded all right. It was pretty cool. So next night was Metallica day 1. Got up early, got some food in us, headed down to the venue. I don't remember even watching anybody really. Killswitch Engage was playing. A handful of other bands were playing. Stained. I don't even know who else was there. I think Pennywise played. I watched a little bit of them. But I was there to see Metallica that first night. Overall, the Louder Than Life Festival's lineup really wasn't that great, in my opinion, until the last day. But anyway, picked up a guitar pick for night 1. Metallica always does city-specific picks. This is the Louisville, Kentucky night 1. Kind of see it's like a little Kentucky Derby dude on the horse. And then in the back, it's just, the city, the date, and then the Metallica M. So that was the night 1. I got the set list right here. And basically these night one set lists, these festivals, Metallica was going to play 2 nights. They were going to do the Black Album in its entirety, night 2. Everybody knows that by now, so I'm not spoiler alert anybody. So we knew night 1 wasn't going to have any Black Album tunes on it, which was cool. But badass set nonetheless. By the way, fun drinking game on this show. I've been told I say badass a lot, so every time I say badass, take a drink. So, night 1, they open up with Whiplash, then Ride the Lightning, Harvester, Cyanide, Memory Remains, 1, Now That We're Dead, and Moth into Flame, No Leaf Clover, which is always cool, love hearing that tune live. Very underrated Metallica song in my opinion, although from the S&M shows, Minus Humans the better of the 2 songs. For some reason they never play it, but No Leaf Clover is an awesome song. Then Fum and the Bell Tolls, Whiskey in the Jar, Fade to Black, and Puppets. Then they come back for the encore, and it's Battery, Fuel, and they close with Seek and Destroy. So badass set. It was awesome. Take a drink. Hopefully Jason and Val will watch this because they're the ones who told me. But great set. They kicked ass. It was a lot of fun. Went back to the hotel, did some more drinking and hanging out. The next day, Saturday, I didn't bother going to the festival. I don't care about Disturbed. I wanted to see Lamb of God and Gwar and Offspring, but I was like, you know what? I'm going to hang out. Invited a bunch of fellow Metallica fan club members out to a bar with me to watch some college football and basically spend the day drinking. That's kind of what we did. After a while, we all went our separate ways. Me, Jason, and Val rented scooters and just went all around the city, went to a couple dive bars, just hang around, met some really cool people, and then just kind of like went back to the bar, met up with some other friends. Blake and Chastity from, they're from Georgia, but they'll tell you they're from Chattanooga. They run the Frayed Ends of Tennessee local Metallica fan club chapter. Met up with Josh and Stephanie from the Carolinas, Creeping Carolinas Metallica fan club chapter. Just kind of finished the night drinking with those guys. And then woke up Sunday morning, and it was Metallica Day 2. Went over to the festival grounds early and picked up the Metallica 40th anniversary coin. Pretty cool, nice heavy metal coin. Literally, it's heavy metal. Pretty cool Volturus 40th anniversary on the back. It's got the 4 X's for 40 years. It says 1981 to 2021. Pretty cool coin. And then I picked up the Night 2 guitar pick. It's like the city skyline for Louisville right there. And then right there you got the dates. So same thing, but this day I caught more shows. I saw Sabaton. They were awesome. I dig Sabaton. I think they're a badass band. They're very they're all into like military history. So that's all their songs are about. But they're a really good band. And they're heavy, great riffs, great solos, great vocals. They're just a good band. So check them out. And then obviously the highlight of the night was Judas Priest and then Metallica. Judas Priest put out a badass set. Drink and Kirk Hammett came out with them and played to the Green Metal-Ishi, which is a great tune. Sounded awesome. And then Metallica comes on. And before Metallica, kind of one thing to note, during the Painkiller solo, the last song of Judas Priest's set, Richie Faulkner suffered his heart attack, which I'm sure you guys have heard about by now. But they finished the set, didn't even notice. He looked fine to me. So, but they played an awesome set. And then Metallica comes out, and it's the last show of the festival. They're going to do the Black Album in its entirety. They do it last song to first, so they can kind of put, Enter Sandman towards the end of the set. But great set. They open up with Hardwired, then the Four Horsemen, then Sanitarium, Struggle Within, My Friend in Misery, God That Failed, Wolf and Man, Nothing Else Matters, Through the Never, Don't Tread on Me, Wherever in My Room, Unforgiven, Holier Than Thou, Sabbath True, and Enter Sandman, the Black Album. And it sounded great. They did a really cool Black Album, like intro video for like 10 minutes before they played. A lot of stuff you've already seen on the Year and a Half Life of Metallica video documentary, but really, really cool. Then the encore comes out and they do 2 songs. It is Blackened and Creeping Death. Got a badass video of me and a bunch of friends doing like a Headbanger's Closet, kind of like a promo video. I'm kind of hesitant to show it, but I might throw it up on there one day. It's fun. I had a good time doing it. Whatever. Most people might think it's stupid, but I thought it was cool. But anyway, awesome set from Metallica. I've heard them do the Black Album, backwards to front before on the Orion Fest in New Jersey, but it's always awesome hearing them do that in its entirety. Really, really great set. So Picked up a couple of shirts. This was the city-specific shirt for Louisville's, like, you know, the skeletons on the horse. There it is, right there, you know, it says September, the days Louisville, Kentucky. It's all right. It's not my favorite. But I picked up this one right here, which is probably my favorite of all. They had two different, like, tour, had all the dates on them. This was my favorite one right here. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Again, on the back, the Voltura's skull with all the dates from the fall on there. So, my favorite one. It looks probably the best, in my opinion. So, head on back to town. Take a, you know, kind of a few weeks break. Metallica goes and plays Aftershock a few weeks later in Sacramento. I didn't go. Then they go play Hollywood, Florida. I didn't go to it. But then they come to my home state of Georgia, where I live now, and played the Mercedes-Benz Dome where the Atlanta Falcons played. If you've never been to that dome, it is one of the most beautiful stadiums ever. I mean, this thing is awesome. State-of-the-art. It's brand new. It's only like 4 or 5 years old. It's awesome. So here is my floor wristband for that show. And let's see, here is the ticket that I printed out. It was a mobile ticket, which sucks. I hate those because, as you guys know from watching this channel, I like to show the ticket stubs. No more of that. No more collecting. There were some shows, like in Hollywood, Florida, you could go up to the box office and get a ticket like after you went in already. Kind of like a keepsake, so that's kind of cool. While I was in the Mercedes-Benz Dome on the floor, got the city-specific pick. You can't see it right there, but that's a chicken. It is the Kentucky Fried Chicken. That is a landmark in Marietta, Georgia. That chicken, like, neck and head is like 30 feet tall at one of the KFCs in Marietta. It's like a landmark. You're like, oh, go to the chicken and take a left, and 2 miles, you get to my house, kind of deal. But there's the date on the back. It was really cool. You can't really see. It's kind of blurry. But, yeah, awesome pick. Again, my buddy Moose hooked me up. They were throwing them out. I got to the front during the time when the band members threw out the picks. I got down the hands and knees to get them, and I was too slow. There was like 5 or 6, and I was like reaching my hand out, and people putting their feet on them and getting them. I was just too slow. This is the t-shirt, one of 2. I only bought one, but it was one of 2 designs. Really nice. It's a kind of a gray shirt, which I like. Different from the typical black of everything, but not a huge fan of the design, but down the bottom there's the Mercedes-Benz, like underneath the guy's chin. The other one was worse. It was like this headless falcon, kind of like a spoof on the Atlanta Falcons. I didn't like that one, but picked this one up, and honestly, it's probably one of my favorite Metallica t-shirts. It's super thin. It's super kind of like tight-fitting. It's badass fitting shirt. But yeah, the design kind of sucks. But I picked it up. Great show. Nonetheless, I kind of drank a little too much during the show, which is a bummer. Me and some friends met at a bar. A lot of people all came in, like Vanessa came in from New York. John Bidwell came in from Wisconsin. My good buddy Amit came in from Kansas City, and Moose was there. I went up, we were all drinking, hanging out, watching college football again. I'm slowly getting everybody into becoming a Georgia Bulldogs fan, so that's cool. We drank way too much, then went into the venue, and I continued to drink, so I was kind of drunk during the show, but it was a good show. Very similar to the night 1 set list on all the festivals, with a couple of exceptions, obviously, but the set list was Whiplash. Then instead of 4 Horsemen from Louisville, it was Ride the Lightning, Memory Remains, Seek and Destroy, Holier Than Thou, One, Sabbath True, Moth into Flame, No Leaf Clover, From the Bell Tolls, Fuel, Fade to Black, and Master of Puppets. Then they come out for the encore, and they do Blackened, Nothing Else Matters, and they close with Enter Sandman. So, badass show, obviously. Just kind of run-of-the-mill set list. It was the ATL Live event. That's why the band was there. Greta Van Fleet opened, which they were actually pretty cool. Cage the Elephant came out, and they weren't half bad either, but I thought Greta was better. There was a story online the next day that some Metallica fans were mistreating Greta Van Fleet fans. I didn't see any of that, and I didn't even hear about any of that. I just think, from what I gathered later on online, there was one Metallica fan in the front row that was kind of a jerk to people, and then those Greta Van Fleet fans took to social media and made it sound like it was a bunch of Metallica fans. But I learned later it just seemed like it was just one dude. But still, that's unfortunate because Greta was pretty cool. So good show all around. Had a blast, in my home estate. Having all of my friends here to kind of party with me, hanging out in Atlanta for the show was awesome. So didn't pick up anything else other than that one shirt and the guitar pick at the show. But just a couple days later, that was on a Saturday night, November 6th, just a couple days later, I drove down to Daytona Beach, Florida for the Rockville Festival. Welcome to Rockville, and if I can find the damn thing, here is the ticket. Right here is printed off, again, kind of dumb. I like to have the tickets. Here is the wristband, same thing as Louder Than Life, you just scan it, go in, and whatnot. But I picked up a couple of t-shirts. This one's my least favorite shirt of all of them. It just looks like James and Lars on a festival setting. Down the bottom where it says 2021, there's like a crowd. Cool design by Squindo. I just don't like how it just seems like it's like the two guys there. Which, by the way, Tony Squindo was there at the show. It was good to hang out with him and his wife for a little bit. There's the dates on the back. Cool shirt. Like I said, the design and then the Metallica logo. I'm just not a huge fan of the way the stage is. Whatever. Next shirt I got was kind of a retread of one of the Black Album era shirts with the eagle, but instead of in the bleeding Metallica, instead of on the World, the eagle's like on the Daytona International Speedway. It's pretty cool having a white shirt. It's not the coolest shirt, but I might wear it every now and again. But it's different than having all the black ones. So pretty cool. So anyway, go into the festival. This lineup was a little bit better. We got there Thursday. Slipknot closed the show Thursday. They were really, really good. There was a couple of the bands earlier. I don't really remember who they were. They weren't that awesome, but Slipknot sounded really, really good. Next day is Metallica Show Day 1. After the shit show of an Uber, I decided to drive in and park my own car at the festival, which was just awesome. Super easy in and out. Got home, back to the hotel like in 5 minutes. But night 1, picked up the first guitar pick for the city there. There's the Speedway and then a blue car. My buddy Justin was kind of explaining to me the NASCAR. I don't do NASCAR. I don't know who the blue car is. He told me, but I don't remember. Sorry, Justin. Back of it right there with the city and date, And the Speedway was badass, dude. It's freaking huge. This place is massive. And it didn't even, you could walk from one stage to the other, take you 5 minutes, and you weren't even, half of the size of the Speedway. I mean, this place is just monstrous. All the seats were, to the left of us. It just looked huge. Kind of, so big, a little bit overwhelming as far as, the size of this place. But just really, really cool. Show day for Metallica was awesome. Got to catch Pennywise. Got to catch Social Distortion, which were really good. Rob Zombie, which was awesome. One of my new favorite songs is Everybody's Fucking in the UFO. Great tunes, so much fun. Just jamming out to Rob Zombie. I've seen him before, but it's been a long time since I saw him, and he still delivers. It was awesome performance. Then we go on from Metallica. Night number 1, similar to Louisville, night number 1, and the Atlanta show. And kind of what I learned Aftershock Night 1 in Hollywood, California, is the standard set list minus the Black Album tunes. So still pretty badass set list. You get Whiplash, Ride the Lightning, Harvester, Cyanide, Memory Remains, One, and then Frantic. My buddy Blake and Tyler from Metallidads podcast. You guys got to check them out. You don't have to be a dad. Just if you're a Metallica fan, they're just funny dudes. They tell great stories. Metallidads podcast. They're awesome. They were super stoked because those dudes love the Saint Anger record. I don't know, maybe because they're young. I don't know, but it's a good record. But they got Frantic. I know those dudes were super excited when they started playing Frantic. Then we got Moth into Flame, and then again No Leaf Clover, Bells, Whiskey, Fade to Black, and Puppets. They come back for the encore. It's Fight Fire with Fire, and then James is like, because of where we are, we got to do this song, and they play Fuel, which we all kind of knew that's what we were going to do. We were going to talk about that earlier in the day, and then the end was Seek and Destroy. So great set, a lot of fun. Got back in the car, went back. Similar to Louisville, Saturday, I didn't go. I didn't want to see Stained. I didn't want to see Disturbed. I've seen Lamb of God 100 times. I skipped that. I went out with a bunch of my fellow Metallica fan club members and watched college football. Got really, really drunk. Hung out with good buddy Josh and Dan from Arkansas Rise. They showed up. Hadn't seen those guys in a really long time. Party with those dudes. Shout out to those guys. Go check out their website, Arkansas Rise. Got a lot of cool stuff. And from what I'm hearing from them, some surprises for the Metallica 40th anniversary coming up. So stay tuned for that. But just hanging out with those guys, drinking, met up with everybody else later on at some bars. I was extremely intoxicated. Really good time. From what I remember, I had a really fun time. Then went to bed, woke up next morning, night 2 for Metallica, the final show, the final festival of the year, last show of that festival's run. So looking forward to kind of getting there early, and that's what we did. We got there early. We saw Goodbye June, Alien Weaponry, which was kind of cool. A couple other bands. I really don't remember too much. Saw Leonard Skinner. Kind of watched Mastodon play in the afternoon, but who was that band before that? Mudvayne played, but there was a couple other bands. But anyway, we saw this band called The Warning. Really, really cool band. 3 girls out of Monterrey, Mexico. Really good band. Just solid kind of rock and roll. It's a really cool band. Awesome vocals. I highly recommend you guys check them out. The Warning. Really good stuff. Then went and checked out Mudvayne, and then went kind of closed things off before Metallica. Got to watch Leonard Skinner, which was awesome. They put on an awesome set. Hung out with some friends, Alan from Alabama, so that was kind of cool to see them play Sweet Home Alabama, hang out with him. My buddies Glenn and Ula from Norway, Jason and Val were there with us. Just hanging out watching Leonard Skinner. Then we go back and see Metallica, and I got the final pick for night 2 right here. There it is. So just going back to the Blackened Whiskey tent, hanging out before Metallica. And I've got my Blackened Whiskey cups. Any of you guys who saw me at Louder Than Life, here is the broken one. I wanted the damn cup, but I don't drink liquor, so I didn't want to buy it, so I just paid for the cup. Little did I know that everyone who's buying the drinks was like, hey, you can have one of my cups. I got like 5 of them. So I ended up getting a stack of cups. I lost a couple, but yeah, these are my whiskey cups, my Metallica Blackened Whiskey cups. Whenever you go to see a show from this moment forward, you got to find where they're doing a Blackened Whiskey tasting in that city and go check it out. From what I gathered, this stuff's awesome. So, like I said, that was night 2 is about to close. Metallica comes on, and we're going to get the Black Album again. Had a little bit better vantage point for this particular show. It kind of made it up a little bit farther. They open up with Hardwired like usual, and then they go into 4 Horsemen, and then Sanitarium. Then they go into the Black Album, Struggle Within, all the way through to Nothing Else Matters. And to Sandman. Sounded great. To me, they sounded better in Daytona than they did in Louisville. Wonder if that had to be because Louisville is the first festival. They weren't with their regular sound guy, Big Mick. But these 2 shows sound a lot better. But then the encore was extra awesome, extra badass. Take a drink because they played Damage Inc. And we got really, really close during the encore, and they started doing that Damage Inc. intro. I'm like, they're going to do this? And they come out and play Damage Inc. Phenomenal. It was awesome. And then they closed the set with Creeping Death. Awesome show. So badass. The whole weekend was amazing. And one kind of last bit of merch I picked up at these shows, it was really, really cold that Sunday. I mean, it was beautiful all weekend. High 70s, low 80s. T-shirts the whole time. I went to the festival on Sunday and nothing but my T-shirt and my battle vest, and it literally got like to the 40s, and I was like, screw this, I gotta go buy something. So, much to the chagrin of my wallet, I picked up this Metallica hooded sweatshirt just because I was freezing to death. And then I figured, going to the 40th anniversary shows in San Francisco, it's always cold there. It's going to be good to have a sweatshirt. That's how I justified spending like $75 on this damn thing. So there it is on the back, just like all of the shirts. It's just got all the dates from the fall 2021 tour, which is pretty cool. And, it'll come in handy. I don't wear coats down here in Georgia, so I'll put this on during the winter. I'll get a lot of use out of it. So yeah, that was what I collected on my 5 shows and 3 stops of my Metallica Fall 2021 tour. Just hanging out with all my friends was just as good as the Metallica shows, if not better. At this point, that's kind of what's all about for me anyway. I know a lot of you guys that are watching were people I hung out with there, and you'll agree. So I came home, for some much needed rest, and waiting for me was a rather large package. And the last thing I want to show you on this episode, it is the Metallica Black Album Funko Pop set, which is way bigger than I thought it was going to be. 10-inch record with the Funko Pop guys, Jason Newsted included, obviously, because he was on the Black Album. There it is right there. Pretty badass set, actually. So I'm just going to keep this in its box, and I'll put it up somewhere behind me so you guys can see it in future episodes. And, of course, I just dropped this. This will be the very last item. If you go to those Blackened whiskey tastings, like I said, they've got these just for like $10. Pretty cool bandanas right there. They say Blackened whiskey. It's got the Metallica Ninja Star, so pretty cool. I don't wear bandanas, but you know, I'm sure I'll find a use for it. So add that to the collection, right? This is Headbangers Closet. It's all about my Metallica collection and my heavy metal collection. And that is the collection, the items from my Metallica Fall 2021 tour. Just a shout out to everybody that I hung out with during those shows. You guys are my best friends. I love hanging out with all you guys. I appreciate you guys watching and telling everybody about the channel. And for those guys of y'all who aren't huge Metallica fans that watch my show, don't turn it off just yet and unsubscribe. I'll have something other than Metallica come for you guys next episode. So hit that like and subscribe if you will. Leave me a comment down below. Did you go to any of these shows on the Metallica Fall 2021 tour? Which shows did you go to? Tell me all about it. What'd you think about it? And like I said, hit that like and subscribe. I appreciate it. Or don't. You don't have to. And yeah, I'll have another video for you guys very soon. As always, badass. Cheers.